record. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Creative Tavern. My name is Christopher Lee. I am a concept designer. Been in the industry for about 10 years. Worked with companies such as the Walt Disney Imagineering, Universal Creative, and I'm here today with my buddy Michael Welker.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael L. Wilker. I'm a writer and semi-retired creative producer from the theme park industry, where I've also worked with various companies and with Chris on a couple of different projects, most recently in Osaka, Japan on Super Nintendo World. After that project was completed, Chris and I had some time, some extra free time, and we decided, hey, let's put our heads together and work on a project of our own. And it took us a while to figure out what that would be. And eventually we kind of settled on, hey, let's make a video game. Let's learn how to make a video game. And not only that, but we've been meeting twice a week consistently for several months. And we've had these very productive design work sessions. Let's start streaming those and create this sort of platform where we can work on a game together, kind of role model the process of making a thing, of learning how to make a thing, because it's a pretty messy process
Mm.
making something creative that you've never done before. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of how we got to where we are right now with the Creative Tavern and the show that you're watching.
Yeah,
So
so
welcome.
welcome. Yeah, totally welcome. Welcome. Very really happy that you're here. And a little disclaimer, we never done this before. We never actually created a video game, so you'll see us struggle. We'll have small victories, big defeats. Some weeks there's like technical difficulties, like today. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just trying to start the stream, trying to figure out what the issue is for my on my computer. Yeah, difficulties such as just like that. But it's just part of the journey, right? And so, yeah, so Michael currently is learning Unity right now. I'm more or less trying to get back into Blender and create 3D assets. And it's been interesting coming from a more of a 2D conceptual art, doing digital paintings, now actually creating a 3D assets. Different, but absolutely doable. And so I am here to learn. Hopefully, by me learning, I could share with you guys, like, if I can do it, so can you. You just got to take it day by day. And trust me, you have to take it day by day sometimes, or else you just go crazy. Like, from last week, Michael and I, we said that we are going to create kind of like a schedule list of what we need to do in order to reach our December deadline, right? We kind of gave ourselves a soft deadline. And after making that list, and I realized like, oh my God, we have so much work to do, Michael. But it'll get done. Just if we do it like every single day, just little by little, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yes, today is Sunday, so it's my turn to share with you guys on what I did for scene three. But before I showed you guys what we're doing for scene three, I want to give a really quick recap of what I did for scene four. So let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? And before I do that, I want to share the screen with Michael, or else you can't see what I am doing. And screen number four, boom, there you go. And I will switch this there. Oh
Cool.
no, that's not what I'm. Don't look at that, guys. Don't look at that. Look at this. This, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so hold on. This might get confusing for the viewers. For those of you guys who have not been following along, uh, you know, every single session, essentially we're working backwards. Last two sessions we did scene five, and then last session we did scene four, and then now this week I'm going to show you scene three. So in order to give you a quick recap, I have to go back to scene four. So this is what I did for scene four, and scene four is one of those transitional scenes where we go from a large space and then to a small space and then back to a large space again, because we don't want to have just be in a large space all the time. We want to have like contrast, right? We want to show like a really big environment and then small environment and then big environment. So this right here, what you're seeing is a small environment going inside of a corridor uh, into scene five. So we're in scene four going into scene five. So let me go ahead and press play. There is no music, so I apologize. And press play. And then so this is what I basically showed Michael. It's like, oh, Michael, we can actually, show um, like a long corridor. It doesn't have to be short, doesn't have to be too long, but at least we're actually travel inside the corridor, and then in the corridor we have little bots that we can shoot. And yes, currently we're flying at 1,000,000 miles an hour through here. We will tweak that a little bit. Um, and also in here we'll have like various architecture structures that will make the interior of the corridor look cool. We can add extra structures, click on and off, something like that. And then within this corridor, we also want to have obstacles where we can shoot at, so that if we don't shoot it, that obstacle will actually hurt us. And we do not want that to happen. And then so we want to definitely have the opportunity to shoot these random panels and doors, and then we can Indiana Jones moment, and then we can go through one of the coals, the corridor tunnels, and then that's basically it. This was kind of a more or less of a proof of concept to show Michael that yeah, the tunnels going from scene 3 to scene 5, scene 4, can be kind of interesting as well. It's kind of like an interior water park ride slash roller coaster that we're inside of. And that's basically it. And let me zoom out. And what I mean by that is someone made a comment. I believe it was Gentleman Heavy that made a comment that, oh shoot, hold on, I forget who made that comment. But anyway, someone made the comment that, oh my gosh, this is more or less of a roller coaster. And that's what it really is. It's kind of like a theme park ride almost, right? And I told Michael that in this scene, I definitely want to have some various moments where we are going in a straight line. And then when I say the Indiana Jones moments, because in the Indiana Jones ride, we have a set track. However, the designers put a like a door in front of us, letting the guests feel like they're actually going to go through that door. However, all of a sudden we pivot, and then we go like make a sharp turn to the left or something like that. So I kind of want to have that moment as well. Blah, 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 blah. Michael, am I missing anything at all with this recap? Please jump in. Let me know.
No, you nailed it. Very succinct.
Oh,
You hit all the major points. Good job.
yeah. Yay, thank you. All right, cool. So I mean, I we've proven this obviously, right? That it actually will work.
Hmm.
However, I guess I'll ask that question a little bit later when we talk about the breakdown of what I need to do. Um, but the question that I was going to ask Michael is that this obviously isn't the final track, um, or maybe it is. I don't know. That's just something that I think you and I need to, really look at and see, how is the duration of the time inside this scene 4. Does that make sense? Is that long enough? Is that too long, or is it too short, or um yeah, again, that's just something that I need your help on, because I don't know if this is something that's like, oh, let's call it done, and move on to the next thing, right? Um, yeah, I guess we'll do a little bit of a gameplay test to see if this actually works or not, right?
Yeah, that's the only way that we're going to be able to know if we're done or close to done is once we actually get it into Unity and
Yeah,
start flying around in there. Because one of the most critical parts is how fast the ship's moving.
right.
Uh, because if we have to slow the ship way, way, way down in order for it to actually function gameplay wise,
Hmm.
then maybe this is crazy too long. And
Hmm.
we go
Hmm.
like, man, it gets really boring because you're in there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Then we shorten it. Um, or if we feel that, it works best when there are parts that you zoom through and parts that you slow down for, then that might really change the design, because then we might have these little like big chamber pieces that are, there's like 3 or 4 of them where like in there you slow down, but through
right.
the little tight corridors, in order to get that feeling of exhilaration as you're zipping through there, then yeah. So it's, I think what you have is fine as sort of like proof of concept for us to like get to say like, okay, kind of done with that for now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Once we get it in Unity, then we can start pulling some levers and twisting some knobs and seeing what breaks and what doesn't.
Right.
Um, and then from there we can back up and be like, okay, here's what we need to do to get this to
Okay.
a point where we can move forward.
All right. All right. Yeah, because yeah, I'm still a little bit murky as to how to kind of answer the list that I wrote down. Oh, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. So yeah, so that's scene four recap. Now I want to show you guys a scene three. So scene three is a transition between obviously two and four, but scene three is essentially where we kind of land on a asteroid, and then we're kind of destroying all the enemies that is on the asteroid. Because right now the story is that a lot of the bad guys are kind of have invaded this space mining colony, and we're there to answer maybe like the stress call, and then we're there, and then we see like there's bad robots there, and then we have to go and destroy them. And then so let me share with you guys. All right, let me go ahead and close scene four. Don't save. This right here is not scene four. This right here. There you go. All right, cool. So this is something that I actually showed to Michael uh last week, right? And this was kind of a proof of concept to me, just for myself to see if flying down into a asteroid and then flying through little ravines. Uh, what's that word? Trench.
Trench.
Yeah, thank you. How does that feel, right? And then so I kind of created like this path. Oh, let me show you guys. I created a sphere. The sphere is essentially it's kind of like a oops, like a comet, or not a comet, asteroid, something like this, right? And then so from here, I'll click play. So this really very much reminds me of the kind of like a Star Wars, the trench run, and that was just something that I wanted to see if I can pull off in Blender, and it looks okay. And just be forewarned, we will make sharp turns, um, and so yeah, and how does this space actually look if I do kind of like a barrel roll, and making a turn, something like that. Um, and I realized that everything that I've designed in this environment is very linear, it's very clean. It doesn't feel very natural at all. And then so I went ahead and did another version, and then I showed that to Michael as well. And he actually gave me some comments for that version as well. And then so I did more edits, and I will show you that after I show you guys this. And you guys can tell that I'm making really really quick sharp turns, maybe a little bit too quick, but this is just for like testing to see if if it feels cool, and it does feel cool, but it's a little bit way too fast. So I definitely slow down a lot of oh my god, slow down the ship. It's all about controlling the timeline. And currently, I'm not proficient at it yet. I'm still learning, but it's fun, and it gets the point across, right? And it feels fun. It feels good. It's just fast. Any thoughts, Michael?
No, yeah, like everything that you said is spot on. It
Yeah,
does, yeah, like you've got these sort of whiplash moments, but really the point of what you've done here is not for us to fine tune that. It's just to get a general sense of feeling of like, oh, okay, this is what this space is going to feel like, and
yeah,
it identifies some of those moments, like, oh, there's these like really sharp turns feel uh, kind of violent. So maybe when we're actually designing like an iteration two, maybe we you know increase the radius of those corners so
yeah,
so when you take them, they're not the sharp 90, I guess decrease the radius, so they're not these like sharp 90-degree turns. Maybe it's more like a 45-degree turn, or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeti, Confetti Yeti, we see you. Hello.
Confetti
Captain
Yeti.
Captain Blue Blue says this semi-closed trench looks like an introduction to the fully closed corridor level afterwards. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good
Uh,
point.
good, very, very good point. Okay, so I made a video. Give me 1 second to set it up, because you know how this
Excellent.
how OBS is. Like I can't share stuff without having to close a few things. So give me 1 second. I'm so excited to share with you guys.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
hold on, hold on, hold on. All right, so I need to unshare, Michael, right? In order for you to hear, I need to stop, or hold on. Do I just change window? Change window.
I don't know.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
sorry,
because on Discord, I'm
guys.
just looking at your desktop, I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, but hold on. No, that's not true because you also need to hear it. I put audio behind it, so in order for you to hear it, I have to share the application, right? Hey,
Oh,
Anime
that's right.
Jesus.
Yep.
How are you doing, Anime Jesus? Good to see you.
AJ, welcome.
Hello. Hold on. Where is?
Captain Blue Blue says, now that I think of it, the levels have been progressively working towards from open space to closed space to a room. Is this a conscious choice, and is this for the benefit of the gameplay or the narrative? Um, Semi-conscious choice, I'll say. We didn't start the project going, you know what, we're going to make a video game, and it'd be really great to start out in the open and slowly work towards like an enclosed, room. But along the way, that was something we kind of discovered and definitely leaned into because we wanted to create that contrast and variety. We didn't want each. We knew we wanted multiple scenes where we can kind of like mix things up and give a sense of progression, and both from a gameplay perspective and the story like narrative perspective. That way you could feel like, oh, the game is getting more challenging. And also, oh, cool, there's a new crazy thing happening in the story. And the best way to create those sort of transition points, I guess, is to make sure that each one of the scenes feels different, and has that kind of contrast. So it wasn't premeditated, but it was definitely something that we intentionally did, as the levels or as the scenes develop. So, good question.
Yeah, it was a very good question. For me, I kind of just I just did it, right? I just, tried something. I was like, oh, okay. I think we started with scene 5, and then we're like, oh, okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
like a big interior space that we're flying through. So the previous scene probably shouldn't also be a big interior space. Let's make it small, right? And then let's back up again. So that's just a small space. We don't want to be yet another small space. So let's go ahead and try to do one that is maybe small and big, kind of like right in the middle, right? And then the scene before that, is essentially space, right? Where in scene 1/2 it's all about being in the asteroid field and flying through space. And then we land on scene 3 in the space colony, which is not as big of a space. And then scene 4 is a really tight space, and then scene 5 a really big space again. So again, that contrast of big, small, big, small, big, small. Um, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I think I'm ready. Michael, are you ready to get your socks blown off? How about you guys? Watch it. Watch it doesn't work at all. I'll be like, oh shit. Okay, all right, and press play. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Yes, it's a little quiet, but I can hear it.
Oh, it's quiet? Oh no.
It's fine.
Hopefully the chat can hear it. I'm gonna boost the desktop volume up a little bit.
Okay.
Remind me to turn you down too.
Ooh, cool.
This is Delta Squad. We have your back.
Nice.
Let's do this. We're flying. We're flying.
Oh, cool.
Oh, we gotta pull up, Commander! Oh. Be advised, you're going through a trench. Careful, it's tight. Watch out for the structures. Shoot them. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh, cool.
We'll be right behind you, Delta Squad. Pew, 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 pew. Echo Squad, watch your 6! Watch your 6!
Ooh, nice.
Pew, pew, pew. We're coming back in. Echo Squad, we'll be right there. Pew, 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 pew. Incoming. We got your back. We won't leave your side. Ah, shit. Enemies. Fuck this shit. I'm out.
You're on your own.
And obviously, we can play with the enemy placement and everything.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do a barrel roll. Because this environment is not as populated now. We gotta make it look cool. Coming back in.
That the coast is clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Echo Squad is useless. Flying through the field of
Ooh, cool.
generators. Nope, bad guys. Oh, we gotta get out.
Yeah.
Alright, we're almost into the entry point. Yeah. We found the entrance. Pull up, pull up. And then now we're flying into the butthole of the asteroid. And then that's into scene into scene 4.
Awesome, man. It's fantastic. Good job.
Oh, thanks. I yeah, I had fun trying to figure out how to get the wingmen to fly alongside your ship. Also to figure out how to do the the enemies falling alongside you. Timing that was that took a few hours, like 1 or 2 hours to figure out because I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I had trouble trying to nail it down. But overall, I was pretty happy with how this turned out. Again,
Yeah.
this might not be the final result, but this is again kind of like
Sure.
proof of concept. Yeah, your thoughts, Michael, and chat. Oh, let me see. We can hear it. Good, yay. Captain Blueba says the commander is a goddamn maverick. Yay. He also said the most useless wingmen ever. I know, right?
Yeah.
At least they can fly in formation. They are nailing it. The music in the beginning when the wingman appears makes them look badass, and then they break that illusion really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, your thoughts, Michael.
I think it's awesome. Like especially given our last session when I kind of got like a preview version of it, you really completely addressed all of the sort of concerns we had talked about, where in the like previous version it was almost exclusively in the trenches and there was kind of like a missed opportunity for like flying across like open terrain. You have plenty of those moments now, and I really like the different elements, that like industrial elements that you added to the terrain. Those like big tower things that we see in there. There's like a solar array. These like big pillars. These like big columns and things. Like all of that stuff is super cool. I think that's great. Um, and like the mix between the sort of trench stuff and then the overworld stuff is really cool, and I think feels about right. Granted, we're gonna have to play with things in terms of like
Hmm.
the speed of the ship and the moments with like enemies and things. But overall, yeah, I think this is a hell of a first draft. I think this is really great.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, there's still a lot of things that I'm not really happy with. I mean, I wish I could spend more time on this. I mean, I could, but before I do spend more time, I definitely want to work with you to, to ask the question. I mean, it looks good right now, but again, it's all about gameplay, right? So until we actually
yeah,
bring this into Unity and actually play test this, I could keep working at it, until the cows come home, Um,
sure.
but but yeah, I'm glad you like this progression, this pass. I guess the next thing I want to ask you is, all right, that's enough of that. All right.
Well,
Did you want to see the model? Oh, go ahead, Michael. You were going to say something?
I was gonna anticipate where I think you were going with that line of questioning and suggest that I think what we need to do at this point is actually bring your models into Unity
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
just create a sort of like a rough uh, a rough draft of here's what it is in Unity with the rail system and with a bunch of bots flying around that you can shoot. Um, because once we do that, then it's going to become glaringly obvious. Okay, here are the adjustments we need to make to the Unity engine in order to make this feel more interesting and cinematic and exhilarating and fun. Or here are the adjustments we need to make to the level in order to get it to adapt to the gameplay, which already feels right. It's going to be some combination of those two things because I don't think the gameplay is there. I mean, I know it's not there because I don't even have everything completely programmed yet. Um, but yeah, I think that's like in order for us to really make forward progress, we got to smash these two worlds together now and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to share with you now the model itself. So
Mm,
so would you say the next step is, excuse me, apologize. The next
bless you.
step, thank you, is just exporting this into Unity and have you take a crack at it and see how it feels gameplay wise. Um, I mean, obviously I'll make sure it exports it well into Unity. Um, yeah, because that is the burning question that for me is, I mean, I could keep working on the level, but like you said, until we play test it, then we'll actually know how it feels, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah. And that's probably going to be. I'm anticipating technical difficulties with that process because
yeah,
there's probably going to be things that we're going to need to learn or pits that we're going to fall into
right.
just trying to do an export from Blender and an import into Unity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're probably ready. We're probably at that stage where we can start doing that. And really, I guess we could do that for all the scenes that you've done. Um, yeah, but yes, we can do that for all of them. Uh, but maybe we start with one,
Right. Right.
or in this case, I guess start with two or yeah, three, four, or five.
Yeah. We could decide that when we take a look at all the stuff that the kind of the list that I did. Um, and I guess the next thing I want to talk about is, for example, I'm currently just, that's a huge big rectangle that I'm using as a placeholder. I've also
Hmm.
kind of really, really, really quickly designed some fuel stations and whatnot, just stuff to put in there. And I, I'm not 100% happy with how I populated the space. I kind of just wanted to put something in there just to show, oh, there's stuff. It's not just environment. It's
Sure.
not just natural rock, but there's actually a space mining colony there digging up, digging up um, fuel and crystals and whatever resources that's there that the bad guys are, excavating. And
Hmm.
yeah, I need to figure stuff out, is what I'm trying to say. Bu- 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 bu.
Yeah, and I think at least for the individual assets, I think you'd be perfectly safe to move forward with, taking like, oh, this thing's just a couple of polygons, and
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
like a couple of rings, and like I'm actually going to figure out what this thing is because at this stage we're not going to say like, okay, we're going to cut scene 3. I don't think we're going to do that. So
Mm,
we definitely know that scene 3 is going to be this. It's going to be, and by this I mean the sort of half trench, half open terrain level that
mhm,
is a spherical asteroid that you're flying over, that is themed to have this industrial mining operation built into it.
mhm.
So if you start refining those elements, I I don't I think that's perfectly safe because those things are going to end up put in there at some point.
Right.
Um, they might get shifted around, but we're not going to just wholesale be like, okay, actually, we don't need the fuel things anymore because now we're changing this to a military base. That's not going to happen.
Right, right, right. Cool. Sorry, I need to fix my camera. I don't know why my video has. I'm
Oh,
frozen.
it froze. Oh no.
I don't know why I'm frozen. Oh, oh no. There you go.
Do, 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 do,
Nope,
do.
I'm still frozen. But that's okay. That's fine. I'm content with my position. At least I don't look like an idiot. I don't
Yeah,
look too
like
horrible.
one eye
I
closed
know.
and the other one half open.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much, Michael, for giving the feedback from last week. That
No,
definitely helped
great
me.
work, man.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It definitely helped me out trying to, make the level even better. So that's why working in a team is great, is that we have, feedback, bounce ideas off of one another. So it's
Totally.
freaking awesome. Yeah. But yeah, that is there anything you want to see specifically in this level, Michael? Oh, shoot.
Um,
So yeah. Oh, really quick. The how I basically did it is with the wingmen, I basically just put them
mhm,
like all the way up at the top, and then oh,
mhm.
I see myself like moving. My video is finally catching up. Wow,
Whoa, yeah.
that's a huge lag. What the world is going on with my computer? Ah.
It's going
Anyways,
all, yeah, like 3 times the speed. It's weird.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
What is happening?
I don't
Well,
know.
hey, you know, we came into this stream knowing there was going to be some weird technical difficulties, and
Amen, amen.
we are
Yep,
not disappointed.
yep. So the way I did the wingmen is essentially just put them behind the camera and they're parented to the camera. And then so when I want to call them in, I just basically take them and then just move them up front. And then when there's
Sure.
enemies, it's like, oh crap, let's get out of here. Let the commander take care of it. Woo, woo, you know.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so that's how I did it. Um, but yeah, other than that, do you have any? Ah, shoot. Would you like to see any? Do you have any questions as to how I made it? Um, Anything at all I can show you? Probably
Um,
self-explanatory.
yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Um, yeah, I think it's awesome. Um, I'm just really curious at this point to see like what happens when we put it in the Unity engine,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
and actually have like some gameplay function. Um, yeah, I think it's awesome, man. Like, again, kudos and thank you, huge thank you for doing the sort of like level design work that you're doing because it helps me out a ton. The more time that I spend with programming, the more I realize that there isn't a whole lot of brain space left over after doing all these tutorials and trying to
Hmm.
like figure out like why the hell is this bug doing this? How do I fix this? Like it's very difficult to both like come up with what the design and level should be
Hmm.
and also figure out how to engineer that into reality. Um, and learn the tools necessary to engineer it into reality. So it's extremely helpful to me when to have you not just doing like 3D modeling and assets and building things, but actually creating these like gray box environments where you've designed like, hey, here's the first draft of level. Like, what if we go through here and there's a trench right here at this part, and then there's this moment where we're flying over these like solar panels, and then there's this other moment where like some of the missile bots come flying in from the side. Like, um, that's all fantastic. That's like it's hugely helpful
Yeah.
to me. So I'm
Good.
glad that
Good. Good. Good.
you're shouldering a lot, almost all of the level design burden. So thank you.
Well, trust me, you're going to be programming a lot of this stuff, so that's going to be on you, man.
That's true.
I'm leaning very, very heavily on you, man. I will do as much as I can to, carry the design burden, shoulder it as much as I can. Um, but everything else, like the gameplay wise, balance wise, I mean, I'll give my 2 cents and everything, but the real game designer is you, and I can just try to make it, look pseudo cool, right? Like,
Hmm.
like that, But
Yeah,
but yeah,
killing it.
cool. So I guess the next step, Michael, for me is that I'll go ahead and clean up this. Actually, le- better question. What scene should I do first to just test it out to see how it feels and look in Unity?
Um, this one.
This one?
We
Okay.
should do this one first. Yeah.
Okay.
The reason for that is because the other spaces are interior spaces, which I think might be a little bit more of a pain in the ass to deal
Okay.
with.
Okay.
So just to like take one thing off of our plate in terms of the migration from Blender into Unity and the sort of like play testing there, um, let's start with this one because
Okay.
this is the most similar to the tutorial that I've done. Um, just in the anticipation of things that I don't know that will potentially break or go wrong or be
Mhm.
frustrating with like
Mhm.
working in an interior space. Let's try that first.
Okay. All right. I will for my homework, I will clean this up as well as a whole bunch of other stuff too. I have things I have in mind. I would like to run by you really quick before I start doing it. But I'm glad to know that
Sure.
this is the one that we want to test out in Unity. And I'm gonna try to see if I can export the path and somehow make the path into the cinema cinema blend cinema sorry what
Machine.
cinema machine, thank you. um just tell Unity to, use Cinema Machine to take the path that I made and then convert that into that rail system. I don't know if that's actually possible at all, but if we could do that, that would be great. So that, you don't have to plot everything all over again, right? Um,
Sure.
yeah.
That would be fantastic. So let's try to do that. And then as the backup plan, if we can't do that, if there's just some way that you can make sure that there's like a visual what's the word? Like residue
Hmm. Hmm.
of the trail. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if you just like make it polygonal or something, then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
just trace it.
Totally, totally. That's a great idea. If I can't transfer it as into a cinema machine, Uh, yeah, that's a really, really good point. I could just make extrude a shape to the path, and then it'll be like a cylinder
Yes.
path that's just flying around the
Yeah,
asteroid.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like a literal rail in the
Hmm.
world that
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can then use as the guidepost, and then we'll just delete it afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Cool. Sweet. I have nothing else to show you on this level, scene 3, and that's about it for all the stuff that I've done this past week.
Cool. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, it's crazy because now it's like, man, this we've come so far. We have like the rough draft for most of the game now.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm
Now we
I'm
just got to
so
race to the finish.
I'm so afraid of what's coming next. I already know it's an uphill battle. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna stop this right here and and close this right here. All right. Okay. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay. The next thing I want to show you, Michael, is kind of a breakdown of. uh, Okay, let me share this with you and with you guys. Oh, sorry. Share screen. Screen. Share this to Michael right here. So this is what I did, but I want to make sure you guys can see it as well in the chat. Um, Weird. It's not showing up. It's not showing up. I don't know why. Give me 1 second, guys.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's
Yeah,
not
I can see
showing
it
up.
in Discord, but it's not on stream.
Oh, there you go.
While you're, oh, you got it.
Yep, I got it.
Great.
Okay, hopefully you guys can see this too. So Michael and I yesterday, or not yesterday, last time we spoke about we need to essentially break down some of the things that we need to accomplish. Currently, there's only X amount of Sundays left for me um, to get everything done by mid. I was very generous with myself. I gave it September 25th, not September 1st. Come on. All right, do you guys see that? Okay. No
I
streaming
can see it
system.
fine in Discord.
All
I'm
right,
waiting for stream to catch up here, but it looks, yeah, it looks pretty good now.
looks okay. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yep.
Hopefully. All right, cool. Okay, so this is what uh I broke it down a little bit. So
Hmm.
currently, today, counting today. Oh God, counting today. There's only
Right.
16 more Sundays. Okay, and these are only a few assets off of the top of my head that I could think of. For example, the enemies, right? Here are all the enemies that we have so far in the game. We got the T drone, the M drone, the missile drone, the laser drone, the spider drone, the mini boss, right? And who knows what else might come up later. But I'm gonna say we have these five, right? Michael.
Yes, but I would potentially suggest that maybe we can prioritize those in a way to say like these ones are absolutely essential and have to go into the game, and then these other ones are if we run out of time, we can actually cut them. And yes, it would be those two. I think, yeah, what you're setting up right now is exactly right.
Yeah.
The T
Yeah.
drones, the spider drones, and the mini boss are absolutely essential. The
Yep.
missile
Yep.
drones and laser drone are nice to haves.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. I got verification for this. Great. Scene 1 and 2, all I can think of is carrier slash asteroids.
The only other thing I might say there would be, and it might not be that much work. It might just be a matter of like a paint job difference, but we probably want some kind of distinction between the player ship and the allied ships. I don't know that the allied ships, his like, wingmen, I don't know that they need to be like a totally different model of fighter. Um, but maybe have it in mind that maybe the player ship has got like, red highlights and the other allies, all of them are blue. That
Right.
way it, there should be some kind of indication that the player's ship is just a little bit different.
I would say, correct me if I'm wrong. All the good guy ships are the same for the sake of just having one, not designing too many ships.
Hmm.
However, their color scheme is different, and essentially that's a, a paint job basically, and that's something that's pretty easy that we can do not in Blender, but in Unity. You can change the color, right? You could create the same object and then
Totally.
apply a different material and then adjust that
Hmm.
color, right? So I think we could do
Yep.
it that way as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool,
Exactly.
cool. Yeah, I totally forgot the hero ship. I forgot to put it in the list.
Oh, which one other thing in scene one too? I don't know if we want to. This is probably a nice to have. If we want to make any sort of custom adjustments to the skybox, like adding a big planet or something in there, that might be something that we add. But really, the off-the-shelf thing that we have is pretty great. So I think that can be a nice to have and not a need to have.
You're talking about like just a skybox, like a nice looking
Yeah, if we
wraparound
wanted to do our,
environment.
our own, yeah, if we were like,
Got it.
let's actually paint something else in here, or maybe
Yeah,
we want a
yeah,
red nebula instead of a purple one, or maybe we
yeah.
want a big gas giant planet over here. If we wanted any of that stuff, I'm not saying that we do, because I think that, like I said, I think that's a nice to have. I think the first thing that we do is just use because what we have right now
Uh-huh.
isn't like, ooh, God, that's awful. Like, man, I can't wait till we get rid of that. What we have right now looks great.
Right.
Um,
And
it's just, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think either you or Captain Blue Blue. Oh, Captain Blue Blue. Sorry, I'll read it one second, Captain Blue Blue. I think either you or Captain Blue Blue made a statement of saying like we should have a nebula in there as a nice horizon line, so that it's
Mm,
the players can actually have a horizon line, so that they're not too discombobulated. They can actually
mm,
have something to fly
mm,
towards. So
sure.
I think having a nice little nebula, like a beautiful nebula in the skybox would be nice. Something that either I can create, or if we could find something online that's beautiful that we could, use it as a asset, that would be good. I do love nebulas. I think that definitely helps.
Yeah, the one that I'm using currently does have a couple of those, or at the very least, these sort of like colored gas clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there is some of that, but yes, I think that fits into the same cell on this
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
spreadsheet of like the sort of custom skybox modifications if and when we want to make those. But yeah, that's a really good one. Having some
Yeah.
kind of horizon line or visual marker in that sphere that you're in, so that way you can tell where you are. Because yeah,
Right.
otherwise it's very disorienting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that is all the assets in scene one and two. Would you say that looks okay?
Yep. I think so.
Okay. All
The
right.
one other thing that, not necessarily for scene one, two, but just maybe overall, um, and I don't. This actually starts to like make me wonder: is that an art asset? Is that a Unity asset? Is that a Chris thing? Is that a me thing? And that we kind of already talked about with some of the special effects, the like particle effects, the like lasers and explosions, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're using just all off-the-shelf stuff for that right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Is that an
You
art
mean
thing? Or is that
the particle, like special effects? That's definitely a Unity thing, because
okay?
I don't know how. Well, first of all, one thing is I don't know how to create particle effects in Blender. So I'm useless there. And and
Wait, can Blender do that?
yeah, I'm very sure
Oh
Blender it
wow,
has like
cool.
particle effects. I mean, the whole sprinkling of architecture onto like a flat plane, that's a particle effect. Using
Oh,
scat,
that's right.
that's kind of like a scatter system, but
Hmm.
real legit particles is like fire and wind and fog and all that
Sure.
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Blender does that. I just don't know how to do that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, okay. Well, then that's definitely in my court. I'll see what I can do because I feel like if I'm being honest,
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole other can of worms that
Sure.
I have not planned into my timeline, and I might not have time to be able to make really sexy particle effects.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what though? For the beta, it should be fine because the way I've planned out the timeline, this is all just the race to get to the beta. And I think it's perfectly fine to use placeholder particle effects in the beta, and then we'll have a couple of months after that to put in
Uh-huh.
like much
Uh-huh.
sexier particle effects. So I think I've just convinced myself that we're okay there, and we don't need to
Yeah.
fret
Yeah.
about it
I'm
for
not,
now.
I'm not too worried because um what you have shown in your Unity um sessions, it looks great. For
Hmm.
example, that blue accelerated streak of blue, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know I said it looks a little bit chunky, but you know,
Hmm.
we could play around with it and see if we could make it a
Sure.
little bit softer looking. But other than that, I think it's fine. I don't I mean, again, I'm very ignorant so about Unity stuff, but what you have shown, it looks great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, before I go on, I want to read what Captain Blue says. Blah, 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 blah. Captain Blue says, "Yeah, it looks great. Thank you." And he said the last stage is a spoiler, and the first stage should be done last, since it's basically the how-to level, and all of your features aren't done yet. Wait, what?
Yeah, basically what he's saying is the way that we've been working actually makes sense because we want to figure out all the different systems and mechanics and gameplay functions that are going to be in the game
Oh.
first, so that way when we make that first level, we know, oh yeah, we've got to teach the player how to use the boost, and we have to teach the player like here's the different, here's how you get attacked by bots, and here's how you shoot the bots, and here's your wingman, and um,
Cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you for explaining. I didn't understand. Thank you, Captain Blue Blue. Blue Blue says this is the best vertical slice, so to speak. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You do have a planet mesh in scene 1, 2 to orient the player, right? Planet mesh.
Uh, well, maybe. In the sort of like sandbox that I've been playing with, I added one in there just to see like what it would do, but it's not necessarily final. I think it would be cool, and helpful to have some kind of planet, like a
Yeah.
large planet to to create like a visual anchor point for like one of the cardinal directions for the player. I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily think it has to be a mesh though. In fact, I think it would be better if it was in the skybox.
Yeah.
Um, Less resource intensive, and the way Unity's like draw distance works with cameras is a little funky. Um, so even in the, which we'll probably see next time when I'm doing a Unity update, um, there's a certain moment when the plane is kind of like flying, like coming around a corner, and you can see the planet, and part of the planet's like backside is kind of getting drawn in as the plane is flying by. So I don't think all of that is just say I don't think a mesh is the best solution, uh, but I do think a planet is
Yeah.
something we should have if we can. So
Yeah.
yes, good point.
He also says explosion particle effects are basically gradient 2D images with color overlay applied on top. Oh, the images is art. Emitter implementation is programming department, I would say. Emitter implementation is programming department. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the emitter thing is he's basically talking about you can basically tell Unity like, hey, I'm gonna give you this like two-dimensional shape, uh, or this two-dimensional art asset file, and I want you to make it, this size and make 5,000 of them per second and shoot them in this direction. And so by doing that, then it's like, oh, look, it's like sparks or something, or
Right.
depending on the parameters that you set of like, I don't want 5,000 shooting in this direction anymore. Now I want just 20 per second shooting in this straight line. Like, oh, okay, now it looks like a laser beam instead of,
Right.
uh, or I want hundreds of them and I want them to kind of do this, then it's like, oh, now it looks like little dust motes or whatever.
Mm.
So it's this combination of two-dimensional assets that you feed into the particle system, and the particle system just is like this really long list of different
Oh,
switches and parameters that you can change to make different effects. So when he says like the emitter, that's what it's talking about. It's like
oh, I
shooting
see.
those things out. Do you want to shoot them out in a sphere? Do you want to shoot them out in a cone? How fast do you want them to go? What color should they be? Um,
Oh, okay, okay. So,
so yeah,
so
it's a
technically, I can create the 2D art and then give it to you, and you could implement it in a in the emitter, right?
technically yes.
Yeah.
However, the the 2D art that I've seen in my tutorials so far are much closer to like what like in Photoshop if you wanted to make a custom brush,
Mhm.
you know how
Mhm.
you would go in and make like a square
Mhm. Mhm.
monochromatic
Mhm.
almost like a masking layer kind of a looking
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I've been using in the particle effects so far. So
Got it. Got it.
I yeah, all that is just to
Under.
say I know just enough about it to know that it's a big complicated beast.
Okay.
It's probably going to take a lot of collaboration
Right.
and practice and refinement and learning
Got it.
and experimentation to figure out how to make some really sexy particle effects.
Right. Well, I don't as much as I want the particles to look as sexy as possible, I don't think that should be an endeavor in itself. I mean, we could just take what is off the shelf, what looks cool, and then just use it for our game. And if we can make some modification, great. If not, then we'll just say that's just not within our scope. It's not within our timeline, and we don't want to kill ourselves to make that thing look amazing. We want to, but it's just not within the budget, time budget, right?
Totally.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Thank you,
Completely
Captain
agree.
Baloo. Appreciate it, man. Okay, so let's move on to scene three. Okay, so scene three. In my mind, when we're flying through the scene on the surface of the asteroid, we want to see a couple of items such as fuel towers, refinery depots, refinery buildings, power couplings. I just made up all those words. Basically, we just want to have some sort
Great.
of architecture elements in there. I mean, you guys saw some when I was flying through. They are essentially substitute geometry right now, and I definitely want to take the time to actually model them and make it look legit, right? Make it look good. And I'm thinking for the fuel tower, I'll make three variations for each of, firing depot, the buildings, as well as the couplings, and just create them and then sprinkle them throughout the surface. And if it's possible, we'll take some of those assets and then put them in scene 4 and scene 5 in a smart way, right? Just recycling the assets so we don't we make once and then use a billion times if we have to.
Heck
That's
yeah.
that yeah, that's my plan. And yeah, what do you think? Oh, sorry, Michael. And also, I want to clean up the asteroid model, the
Hmm.
asteroid that we're actually flying on. I want to clean that up, optimize the model and the meshes slash vert count. And then I also kind of want to establish the path that we're flying towards, flying around, inside, outside, and whatnot. But again, we have to test that out in Unity, so that won't be figured out until you and I both agree, like, okay, this feels good. Because right now I'm just creating stuff. It's movie
Hmm.
cinematic. It's not playable yet. So let me clean up the asteroid model, export it into Blender, export it into Unity, and then have you take a look at it and see if it actually works or it doesn't work, and then we'll go on from
Totally.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
How does that list look, Michael? Is that okay?
Um, yes, I think so. The only other thing that I'm vaguely thinking of in my head is all of the sort of like individual assets you have listed there uh, are all the industrial things. I don't know if you want to consider some like natural rock formation elements that you may want as sort of like modular pieces, like I don't know, a big boulder or something, or
Oh.
um, like a donut shape that you can then use to like, oh, we can fly underneath this. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that level to me seems like it's sort of this combination between those two things. But you may very well um, just capture all of the natural formations in the asteroid model itself,
Sure,
and
sure.
you don't need those things. But oh yeah, crystals set there. You
Crystals,
go.
um, fuel. Oh no, I already have fuel towers. But these are like the natural crystals that's still in solid formation, I guess. That's sprinkled
Sure.
throughout the trench. Ooh, that would be
Hmm.
pretty. That flying through the crystals. Yeah, that'd be nice. But I like this. I like this. The boulder donut and just the various natural rock formations so that you can
Mm.
actually take it and then put it in the environment. Exactly, exactly.
Sure.
I'll make a variation of those two. So let's see, one, two, three, something like that. Okay. Scene three look okay to you?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now scene four. Scene four, I want to make sure I design the interior structure. By that I mean the tube itself, right? The how is it a circular tube? Is it a hex tube? Is it a octagonal tube corridor?
Mhm.
So I want to make sure to figure that out. Have various doors, door types. We also talked about having kind of a iris looking door. Remember how it like it closes, right? Um, do something like that. Maybe also talked about maybe if we hit like a certain trigger, another path opens up for the players to fly through. Maybe that's something we want to, maybe not. Maybe that's outside the scope. I don't know. I'll just create that asset just so it's there in case if we want to use it, right?
Okay.
Um, as well as obstacles. I don't know. Obstacles can be, a gas tank or maybe like a smaller version of a power coupling that's, inside. Things that we have to hit in
Mhm.
order not to get damaged or not to,
Sure.
collide with. Um, Corridor ABC. I forgot what the hell I wrote that for. What does that mean? I forgot what
Oh,
that means.
maybe actually modeling. If you go into that room where you've got the three different paths, you've only modeled path C. Maybe it's saying also model path A and B if we actually do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That as well as I kind of I would like to create modular sections so
Oh,
that
that's right, the chambers, right?
exactly so that like I could say here you go, Michael. Here's module A, B, C, and D, and then you can take those modules and then construct it. It's like Lego pieces, right? You could connect it however way you want. Because let's just say we don't like the path that I did in Blender. You created another path, another rail path using the cinema machine. That works, right? And then all you have to do now is just take the modular pieces that I made and then just fit it in around that path and make it work. So that's what
Totally.
I'm hoping I can I can create is different sections of the path, the modules, so that for example,
Hmm.
module C can be the module where it splits into three different areas, three different paths,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
and the obviously we'll choose, but the player thinks like, oh, I can choose. Not you're not choosing. You're actually going up, right? But they see, three different, three or six or five, or how many different paths there are, in that. But instead, they just go up because that's the way we programmed it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Um. Okay. So scene four. Does that seem okay?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. Obviously, this list will change. It might get more, it might get smaller, but just for today, I just want to
Sure.
see how it feels. Okay, now scene five. Scene 5, we have the fuel tower. I'm sorry, fuel towers, but I'm just gonna make one, right? And then just copy and paste it around. There's also this kind of like the circular platform, like the main platform that's in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Uh, oh, actually, I was thinking about, how there's like rings around the main tower, so I
Yeah.
would create that as well. So, uh, 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 so bad with this thing. What do I do? Do I just create insert shift cells down? There you go. Uh, Main fuel tower. When I say main fuel tower, that's the one in the middle. And then the circular platforms is all the platforms that's like surrounding the, encompassing the inside the asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Here's the power regulator. Is power regulator blah, blah, blah. Power regulator is the thing that we shoot in order to overload
Mm-hmm.
the main fuel tower. Uh, oh crap! I already did it. Oops, sorry. I already put it there. Main tower. Main tower is what I was talking about. But since I already did that, I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Boop. And also the iris ceiling. I remember we also talked about having the ceiling above has kind of like an iris closing, open and close, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the interior asteroid inner. I don't know why I say inner asteroid interior. T-E-R-I-O-R. I believe it was Captain Blue Blue said that he wants to see like little damages on the walls, like excavating, trying to excavate inside of the asteroids. Maybe we'll see like the crystals from the outside. Maybe that's also inside as well. We'll show some of that. And then obviously, the path that we take inside the the asteroid, but we'll figure that
Sure.
out later. The main thing is that I can design all of this while we are figuring out what the path what the path is. As long as
Oh
I'm
yeah, totally.
continually working independently from you, I'm able to push forward and create the assets for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan so far, and and to be super honest, I only have like 15 more Sundays to get not just all this done, but I'm sure there's other stuff I have to do too. I need to export it into Unity. I need to make sure that it's working well before I give it to you because I don't want to be like, here you go, Michael. Figure it out. I want to put it into Unity and actually see if it looks clean. And once it's nice and clean, then I'll upload it and you can use it accordingly. And Captain
Mm-hmm.
Blue Blue says the engine would handle the level so much better in sections rather than having to render the whole mesh the whole time. If one polygon of the mesh is in the game, the whole mesh is drawn in the draw call. So that means kind of just creating one asset and then just repeating it. Is that what you're saying? Is that what he means?
Mm, no, well, no. I think what he means is, for example, in scene scene three, where we have our like giant asteroid that we're flying over the surface of and in the trenches. Um, Instead of exporting that entire thing as like one giant model,
Uh-huh.
uh, if we split it up into chunks, like maybe you had just like um, if you actually like imagine you were like chopping up a watermelon or something, right? You actually like sliced it into all these different pieces where there's like uh you know slicing up a watermelon into 2-inch squares
Uh-huh.
that
Uh-huh.
kind of create this little wedge shape, and then you export all of those pieces and then kind of combine those different things in Unity. Then when the ship is flying through that area, Unity knows like, oh, okay, you know, section number 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all visible to the ship, so I'm going to load those in right
Oh.
now. but all the rest
Oh,
of the pieces, we can't see, they're too far away, so I'm not going to load those in.
oh,
So
I
the
see.
idea being that if you do things modularly, it's only going to
Oh,
load in the mesh that it needs.
I see.
But if the mesh that it needs is this entire planet, well, then it's gonna struggle because it's it it's not broken up into pieces for the engine to load in piecemeal. It's
Right,
like here's the whole
right,
thing,
right.
just choke it down.
Yeah. How, okay, I guess the technical question to you is, maybe you know this
How do we do
answer,
that?
maybe, yeah, how do I do that with scene, let's say scene
It-
3?
well, it's much easier with something like scene 4.
Oh, Captain Blue says I was talking about scene level 4.
Uh, well,
Scene
yeah, I
4.
guess in that case, it might actually be easier to start with level 4 until we can, because scene 4 I think would be the easiest. Scenes 1, 2, and 4 would probably be the easiest for doing this sort of modular thing where we just have the different pieces. Um, Scene 3 is going to be the hardest, and scene 5 is probably the second hardest because
Yeah.
those are these sort of like big spaces. Um, so yeah, maybe to start, it actually would be easier for us to do scene 4. I think that's going to be the easiest one because then you can just chop up your tunnel into different chunks. Like here's the straight part, here's the like 30-degree curve part,
Mm-hmm.
here's the chamber 1, chamber 2, chamber 3.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Oh no. Did I lose you, Michael? Michael, are you there? Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully I didn't lose Michael, or hopefully he didn't lose me. Give us 1 second. Hold on. Are we still live? Captain Blue Blue, do you hear us? Sorry. Give us 1 moment. We will be right back. I know we have technical issues today. Yeah. Oh, you can hear me. Oh, okay, that's good. But I think we lost Michael. Give us 1 second. Michael is gone though, yeah. I knew today would have some technical issues. Ah. But yeah, Captain Blue Blue, thank you so much for being here, man. I know it's late over there. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend. I'm trying to reconnect with Michael. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I just got a text from him. He said his internet died. That is totally okay. All right, I'm just gonna come back and yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm back. Hello, hello. We'll just wait for Michael. Uh, I'll chat with you. Sitting and thinking of a possible solution about level 3 because I think game-wise is the best to start with. Level 3 contains most of the common assets. Yeah, yeah, I really like the fact he picked level 3 because that is kind of a bigger space, and also it's, even though it's more stuff in there, I think it's probably easier to work with because it's, again, it's a bigger area, and interior spaces to me, I don't know. I've never done this before, so I'm just gonna assume there probably is going to be a little bit of issues, design-wise, trying to figure out the interior space, right? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, no. But yeah, Captain Blue, how's your art going, man? Have you worked on any of your tarot cards lately? I haven't seen you on my stream at all for some time. But I'm glad you're always here though. It's always good to have your knowledge, which is great. Uh,
Here.
Well, I made an asteroid like your level 3. I chopped up the 4 parts that came with downside of texture seams where it was sliced. Oh, I see, I see. Hey, Michael, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks. Uh, I mean, we
It's
are, well, I don't know what we did to piss off the internet gods, but
yeah, right?
they're mad tonight.
Oh, I know, I know. Like I had so many technical issues with my stupid computer, and then now your internet died. So again, it's very much expected. So welcome to the show, everyone. This is just part of the design. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I've never seen that happen before. Just all of a
Yeah.
sudden, Discord disconnected, stream disconnected. My computer was like, "Oh, looks like you're just not connected to the internet anymore."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my other devices are fine. I was like, anyway, did I miss anything exciting
Oh,
while I was
no, no, no,
away?
no. You were talking about, or Captain Blue Blue says that he says if we did level 3 would probably be the best because it contains most of the assets that will be in the game, and plus that's also
Hmm.
what you picked out. And I kind of think level
Wait,
or scene
three or
3,
four?
3, 3. He says I'm sitting and
Because
thinking
I
of the
was going to
poss.
suggest four.
Oh, because I thought you said 3. I thought because 3 is
The
wait, I
whole
thought
big asteroid, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. I thought you
Yeah,
initially you said scene 3.
to explain the concept, yes. The like slicing up the watermelon,
Oh,
because
right,
yeah, scene three is basically like a big watermelon. But I
right.
think it would be potentially easier to start with four because it's just a bunch of those like modular tunnel pieces. Um, because slicing up that entire asteroid, yeah, I don't really know how to do that. Well, I guess you really could just literally slice it up like a watermelon, and then I can reattach all those pieces in Unity.
Sorry, I'm getting a little
But for
bit
some,
confused, but like uh, we're talking about I guess we're talking about two things. One is where we first start me like actually creating the assets, designing the game so that we can
mm,
put it into Unity. We're
ah,
starting
mhm,
at
mhm.
scene 3, right?
For you designing the assets that are going to go into the final game, yeah, that's
Th-
fine. I mean, you could really for that, I think you can start anywhere you want because all the placeholder stuff that you have already, that's the only thing that is really like essential for me to like start doing the play testing stuff. Um, so yeah, if you want to start with scene three, I think that's totally fine. But if you wanted
Okay.
to start like, actually, I want to have a lot of time to work on the boss, and you want to start with that and then like revisit it every couple weeks to like fine tune it or something like that, that
Uh-huh.
would be
Uh-huh.
fine too.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because I guess I got super confused because I thought that uh when we were talking about what's my homework is essentially cleaning up scene 3 and making the asteroid optimized, right? And then putting that into Unity so that we can do kind of a playtest for you to fly around to see if it actually works. Are we talking about the same
Uh,
thing?
then two different things then. One would be like uh, starting to actually refine the models that are going to end up in the final game. That's one thing. And I think that you can do whatever you want right now.
Right, right.
The
Yeah.
second thing is like start importing the sort of like gray box environments that you've created into Unity.
Hmm.
That's a totally separate task. And that one we should decide either to start doing scene three or scene four or scene five. I kind of think it might be easier for us to do scene four
Oh,
instead.
okay.
I had originally said like let's do scene three because that's very similar to what I had done in the tutorial. But
Right,
if
right, right, right.
but to take the like modular approach, Yeah, I actually think scene 4 is going to be the easiest of the bunch
Okay.
because
All right.
chopping up that giant asteroid and then, reconnecting, repiecing it all together in Unity, I think is going to be more difficult than just the modular pieces of like building a tunnel system. The tunnel system
Hmm.
is going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass to like, uh, you know, build the rail inside, um, but probably less of a pain in the ass than the giant asteroid thing. So I don't
It's
know.
just
That's
which pain in the
that's
ass
what
do
I
we
think.
which pain in
Yeah,
the ass do we want to go first?
exactly. Do you want to get, punched in the
Yeah.
nose or punched in the chin? Your choice.
Yeah.
But you can't choose not to get punched.
Right. 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 I leave the decision up to you, Michael. Whichever you think we should start first. Four? All right. We'll go
Let's
ahead and
start
do
with
four.
4.
All right. Cool. Captain Blue Blue says I would divide it up into level common assets and level specific assets and start with the common assets instead of dividing into levels.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Do you understand what he's saying?
First do the levels and then do individual assets. Like do the assets first that can be shared across all levels and then do specific assets later on for each of the levels.
Right. So like, the player ship and the T drones, those are in
Oh, yeah,
every single
everywhere.
level.
Sure, sure,
So those are
sure.
common assets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, like a chamber for the scene 4 chamber, that's
Hmm.
only going
Hmm.
to ever be in scene 4. We're
In
not
the
going to use
scene
it
four.
anywhere else.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah.
level specific asset.
Right,
So
right,
yeah,
right.
I think that's pretty good advice to start with the common stuff first, because then that's going to appear everywhere.
Yeah. But level does I mean level wise, I mean I know for a fact that, all the enemies are going to be spread out throughout the scenes and everything, but purpose of this right now is to actually finish a scene, right? So okay, so scene four. Let's go ahead and tackle that, and I will create the modular pieces, and then so I can give that to you. Um, and I guess the next, well, I then for on your end, will you be creating kind of like a rail system to fly around and play with how it works in the Unity side of
Um,
things? And then after you created your thing, you could take all my modular pieces and just overlay it on top, right?
uh, wait, say that again?
So for example, like right now, everything that I've created for scene four is just a proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the path and everything is kind of just
Mm-hmm.
I just made it up. It may work, it may not work, right? So but on your end, you're gonna create like a real railway path, a playable, game design path with the various of enemies in there. And then once you like it, you can take what I created and then just kind of overlay it on top of your railway, correct?
That last piece, like when you said taking what you've created and overlaying it, you mean the modular pieces.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, I think we can do that. Um, yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, nice, nice. All right. Okay, so
Um,
I'll make sure to do that for next Sunday. I'll present to you all the various pieces and then see if that works or not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, let's do that. I think that'll work out nicely because actually if you want, I can share something with you.
Okay.
Basically my version of the schedule thing
Okay. Yeah,
because
perfect.
time is like really of the essence. So
Right.
rather than wait until my next session, I'll show you what I have now. Um, share the schedule, better text readability, go live. So basically I did something very similar. I just mapped out the Wednesdays. Well, I guess when I did Wednesday and Sunday, between now and now in the end of the year, with like it's sort of like the launch deadline being the end of the year. Hopefully, we can do it before then.
Yeah.
And I was actually a little bit more aggressive. I put the beta launch at the beginning of September and the beta
Okay.
completion at the end of September.
Uh-huh.
But if we feel like we want to, move the beta launch to the end or to the 25th or something, and then have the beta running in October, that's fine too. Because then that'll give us like, if we really did want to release it at the very end of the year, then we would have like 2 months of post beta adjustment to make to the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, I've obviously never done this before. Maybe that'll be enough. Maybe
Yeah.
it won't be. I don't know.
Right.
So I tried to like shove all of the beta in September. That way it could complete, and then we would have 3 full months potentially. Or if we wanted to release in the middle of December,
Mm-hmm.
which would be great, then we would have like 2 full months to take the beta feedback, make adjustments, uh, and then maybe do like another like 2 week beta or something like right toward the end of November, the beginning of December,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to get the like last little kinks out, and then adjust, as we race to the finish line for the end of the year. Um, we can certainly uh, uh, adjust those things, but before we start doing that, I'm just going to kind of walk you through what
Sure.
I
Sure.
did. So, like using that as sort of like the beta launch, I figured, okay, well, we have to be done and have this beta ready to go by then. So the session before that, like in the week leading up to that, we're going to need to do like beta prep to, okay, here's the file, here's how people are going to access it, here's the repository for feedback where you would go to. Like, I don't really know how to do all that right now. That's for future Michael and Chris to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm slotting in some time for that. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, in order to be beta ready, you're going to have like scene 5 needs to be beta ready, scene 4, 3, and 2. All of these need to be like, I basically just said one scene per week to get to beta ready, which took up basically all of the month of August. And then before that was like, okay, well, the beta ready should be like this at the very least the second version of the draft level.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if in July, uh, each Wednesday I can get to a point where I'm like, okay, here's the Unity update for this scene. Here's the draft version. What do we think? And then from there, get the feedback, make those changes, and then a month later, have that scene beta ready. Well, in order to do all of that stuff, I realized like, well, I still don't have the knowledge and understanding of the Unity game engine to be able to program all the things that we want to do. Like, for
Yeah.
example, one thing that I'll show you guys next time is I finally figured out how to get the drones to target the player and to shoot at him.
Oh, cool.
I didn't, yeah, I didn't know how to do that until I did this and was like, well, shit. That means that I basically need to finish the last 2 projects for the beginner 3D Unity course. And in order to do that, I basically have to do an hour of content a day, which like an hour's worth of videos, which equates to like 3 to 4 hours of work because it takes 3 to 4 times as long as the video to actually do it.
Yeah.
Um, in order to like, so if I do that, I will by our our session 22 on June. Wow, what a coincidence! Happens to also be June 22nd, Wednesday.
Haha.
I'll
Nice.
have completed that project. So basically, what to expect from me on next Wednesday, I'll have completed project number 4, and I can show you guys that. And it will be a sort of like it's going to be a combination of this sort of side tangent that's like not the game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, look at this other game that I made. But it will also be, here are the things I learned in that I have, you know, copy and pasted, or like the light bulb went off and I went into Rail Shooter and made a change, which is exactly what happened with something in Project 4 that I then went, hey, I can use that to get the enemy to target the player. So then I went in there and fiddled around with that for a little while, figured it out, got it to work. So basically, my plan for June is to finish the tutorial
Mm-hmm.
completely, finish
Mm-hmm.
both Project 4 and Project 5, and simultaneously, like in parallel, use what I'm learning there when I think of something that's like, oh, I can use that in our game. Then I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to, switch over, program that into the game, and then kind of basically do those two things. And I left a little buffer in here to basically, once I have completed everything, I want to take that week to try and build in all the rest of the systems that are still missing. For example, and I still need to identify all of those. But
Right.
for example, one of the things is like we currently have a boost mechanic in the game, but there's no like boost charge meter that depletes. Kind of like when you're flying with Diva, you can't fly
Mm-hmm.
forever.
Right.
It's got like a cooldown. Well, currently the game doesn't have that, so I need to figure out a way to program that into the game. And the game doesn't have a health system, so I need to figure out how to do that too. Um, so, and this might not be enough. There really might be like I can probably get a chunk of things done here, but then I'm gonna have to like try to sneak them in throughout July and maybe even in August.
Yeah.
But the idea is to try to like spend June racing to the finish line with the tutorials and then try to spend a little bit of time building in the rest of the gameplay systems for the game. That way, when we get to July, I can actually start showing, like, all right, with all the game systems completely functional, here's a draft version of scene 1 2. Here's what that's going to look like. What do you guys think?
Uh-huh.
Get feedback. Okay, I'm going to start tinkering with that and then hopefully have it done and ready by next month, and then kind of just do the same thing each week with each one of the scenes. Um, so anyway, the point of all that is just to say, when I did the backtrack through here, I realized I don't have any, like, there's no margin of error. There's no wiggle room. I really have to like every week hit a
Yeah.
major milestone, like,
Yeah.
because these game dev projects are pretty intense. Each one is like almost eight hours of video content.
Uh-huh.
Um, which I don't know, what is that times three is like 24 hours, I guess. Am I doing the math right?
Yeah.
8 times, yeah, 24 to 30 something hours. So yeah, I mean that's a full-time job, because that's like 24 to 32 hours a week. Um, do that this week in order to get to Wednesday for completing Project 4, and then the very
Mm-hmm.
next week the same thing for Project 5, and then after that, do our project. Um, anyway, so the way I kind of I started with that and broke this up by like these are the major milestones for me that I need to be cognizant of. And then the major milestones would be, well, actually, and then I also added a column here for Chris milestones. We don't have to use this. You've already got your own spreadsheet, but if we wanted to like combine or like add things here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we could do that. And then between the two of us, we would have these major milestones, which are like these are things we're both racing to get to.
Yeah.
Because I know one of the things you had mentioned was like by the end of August, you wanted to have like the art done. So I added that one in here. But I mean, we can certainly move that if we want to start the beta later. But anyway, that's what I did. What are your thoughts?
Oh, good. I mean, seeing it again, every time I learn things, it's always visual, so I always appreciate, especially your chart. Your charts are always very clean and very nicely ordered and very readable. So thank you for creating this. And holy cow, there's
For sure.
absolutely no margin of error at all. My only concern, dude, is how is this affecting your book and audiobook?
I I've dropped everything to do this. But it's important.
I
I
disagree.
mean,
I
we all
disagree. I don't know. I disagree. I don't think your book this game should not trump your book. I don't.
well, I kind of think it should. It's just to the end of the year. Or and even really, so the other thing about this chart is I only planned up to the beta. I have nothing planned in here for the rest because I don't think it makes sense to do any planning past the beta start because we have no idea where we're going to be in 3 months. Much less where we'll be at the end of the beta, like whatever comes out of that. There's going to be a whole bunch of other things we need to do. But I'm realizing I can't do all the shit that I am trying to do. I think it's the chart that I created is certainly helpful at me
Mm-hmm.
identifying like, okay, wow, here's all the stuff that I'm trying to do and all the different dependencies. Um, but when I add in, you know, like doing this timeline made it crystal clear that I can't I can do all of those things. I just can't do all of them at the same time right now.
Sure.
Um, they're gonna have to like something's got to give, and
I
I
know. Yeah.
really want to get us to a point where I'm really reluctant to even entertain the idea of like, oh, maybe this game ships next year. Like, man, it would be really great to be done with it by the end of this year because pushing it to next year kind of opens the can of worms of like, oh, well, maybe the release date just keeps getting pushed further and further out. And I just believe so firmly in the creative practice involving shipping, like actually shipping the thing.
Yeah.
And it's just an awful lot to learn how to make the thing and
Yeah.
also create the thing. And it's yeah, between that and all the other things that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to get my Twitch stream book club going and write
Yeah.
this creativity book and do audio. I don't know. My especially with the like learning programming stuff, my brain is quite fried by the time I'm
Right.
done with like, okay, I did everything that I needed to do today to stay on track to make sure that I get these tutorials done for the rail shooter.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty this sort of like past half week that I've been
Hmm.
because as soon as I did this, I was like, oh shit, it's late. I gotta get started now if I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it.
Yeah.
Um, it has kind of like proven to be that this is basically all, not quite all consuming, but pretty
It will
close.
be. It
But
definitely will be. I and if you allow me, I would say I'm okay. For me, I would be okay with pushing it back as much as we need to, and hear me out, as long as you first get your book done. Um, because I still advocate really heavily that you can get your first and most the highest priority is your book, and because that is going to help you obtain capital for your livelihood. And and while our game is very cool and it also has a high potential to make capital, um, that is a little bit more murky and murky in a not in a negative way, but in a way where it's guaranteed that your book will be widely accepted and be very successful. I have no doubts about that. Um, and and I would get that running up first. And hey Richard, nice to see you, man. And Captain Blue says I'm getting
hey,
thesis prototype testing flashbacks. Yeah.
hopefully they're good flashbacks and not
Yeah.
PTSD
Right, right.
flashbacks.
But yeah, man. I would say, and that's why I had the whole conversation with you of like, let me do the all the assets first, and then for you to, concentrate on your book. Because I agree. I think and seeing the thing that you made right here, it is very, very tight deadline, and I don't want you to, be pulled in three different directions or two different directions, right? Um, I think it's most very important to me at least is to get your book done. And if our project hinders your book, then I don't like that. I think your book is a lot more important at this moment in your life right now. That's my opinion.
I certainly appreciate that. And especially because, you know, you're putting my thing ahead of our thing. So that's very, very classy of you. Um, I guess, I don't know. Let me think about it maybe. I guess what I can do between now and Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
maybe I can take a revision of this and do a little bit more of a longer term timeline. Like, what would it look like if we took a more relaxed approach to getting this thing out? Because really getting it out by the end of the year, I feel like looking at this schedule, it's very apparent that there is no time to waste, that we really need to
Yeah.
go balls to the walls.
Right, right.
Um,
And can I ask you how long do you think it'll take for you to get everything done for your book? Like the audio book, your second edition. Um, what how long do you think it'll take for that to happen?
if I was working on it full time,
Yeah.
probably 2 months, a month and a half to 2 months.
Okay. That's not bad at all. Hell, I'll say three. I'll say 3 months. Give you 3 months to get all your book content ready to go, and then once that's shipped, then we'll go back and concentrate on the whole Unity thing. And bear in mind, I'll still be designing stuff. I'll still be designing all the content, the assets, whether it's playable, it that will be tested out once you're done with all the book. How does that sound?
Um, I mean, that sounds good, but so if I go on like a 3 month hiatus, that takes us to September, and then assuming that this same schedule applies, then it would
Hmm.
take another 2.5 to 3 months to get to beta ready, which is at the end of the year. So then beta is probably going to be happening in January of next year,
Yeah,
and
for
then I
me,
guess the game launch would be next year.
that I don't mind. I don't mind it launching hell in March. I don't mind as long as you get your book up and ready. Because again, kind of with the analogy of my Kickstarter, I can't. I mean, let the Kickstarter run and then let me do my own thing. Um, you know what I mean? I don't want to do both simultaneously. It's going to drive me crazy. Um, so I would say, finish everything, and then once you're finished with everything, then get back onto Unity, and then once the once your book is off and running on its own, making capital and everything, then you'll have again the mental capacity to, fully finish up the Unity stuff. Again, this is up to you, man. I definitely I want to make a uh, I want to ship the game as much as you do, but at the same time, I want to be selfish and say I want to get your shit done first because your book is a lot more important to me than our game. Hope that makes sense. That's not too selfish to say the least.
No, it makes perfect sense. I get it, and you're probably right. Honestly, it's hard for me. I feel a real strong commitment to you and to the chat, to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Creative Tavern, um, to consistently work on this thing and to show up and have something and to like push this boulder up the hill, um, and like stopping and taking a break. The other alternative we could do is do those things like in parallel. We know that's not going to work though. Who am I kidding? Um, yeah,
No,
let me think about it
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
play with some things between now and next week.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, because the other thing too, and well, I don't want to put extra pressure on you, but the other thing too is to just like race to the finish to get this thing done by the end of the year, and then be like, okay, now I can get back to that. Now I can schedule a bunch of time to start cranking out some of these writing projects. Um,
Wait, writing
yeah,
projects?
I guess it's just a matter. Well, yeah, the book. So doing the um, second edition of Blockbuster Blueprint, the audiobook of Blockbuster Blueprint, the
Oh, oh, oh.
creativity book,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
all these things.
Yeah.
Just instead of doing those before the rail shooter, just do them afterwards. In other words, if the goal is to like finish a thing and get it off the plate, that thing could be the book, or it could be the rail shooter. Finish the rail shooter, and then we can. Then I'm free to start
Oh,
working
I
on.
see. Either one or the other.
Yeah.
Uh, I, if I put your vote in, I vote for your book. I think that's more important.
Okay. Um,
You
I
you know
appreciate that and
you
noted.
know you know where I stand. I have full confidence in your book and your audiobook, and I want you to concentrate on that because that's the most important thing in your life right now. Oh, I'm sorry. That's I don't know. To me, I think that's the most important thing in your life. Obviously, you have other stuff that's important to you too. But for me, as a friend,
Sure.
I want to see your book become super popular and very, very famous and get it off the ground,
Yeah.
that as soon as possible. That's more important than the game that we're making. So I vote that, you put the game, in the back burner for now, and finish what you need to in order to get your stuff done. Then we'll go ahead and, work on the game. But that again, the game is not on a hiatus. I'll still be working on all the assets. You'll still review this work that I did, um, because yeah, I'll still be moving forward and you'll still be giving input. We won't be stopping. It's just the Unity part of it. It can take a little bit of a break as long as you get your book done first, because again, that's so much more important to me, in my eyes, than the game itself. And again, I know that you want to deliver it by the end of the year, but I will say, as part CEO, I can make this decision. You can make this decision. We could push it as far as back as we can. But because another reason is because your book actually takes precedent over the game, over our game, because you created this book much earlier, right? And it's also something that's very important to you, and it's also important to me too. So that's just my vote. So that hopefully, you know, you'll 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 pick your book because that's most important.
Make the right decision.
You make the right decision.
Um, yeah. Um, I think you've basically convinced me. Yeah. I that's a tough pill to swallow. Why can't I do everything all
Yeah,
at
yeah,
once, Chris?
yeah.
Um, but
Because
yeah, as long as go ahead.
oh no, I'm just saying, as someone who's been in the industry for a long time, and as a person who 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 really who doesn't bullshit. I try to bullshit, but we try not to bullshit. Is that we only have X amount of time in a day, and then you know we can't do everything at once, and yeah, as much as we want to, right? So yeah, the reality is we can't do everything, even though we want to.
Sure. Okay, well, yeah. Here's what I'm gonna propose then. Between now and Wednesday for my update, I'm gonna continue to move forward with this current plan of like finishing Game Dev Project 4, because I think that would be uh nice, and I've only got another like 2 full days worth of work to do to be able to wrap that one up, and then I'll get that off my plate. And in the meantime, I'm going to chew on this, think about it a little bit, maybe do a revised version of this schedule that shows, like, okay, if I do this hiatus to knock out the updated edition of the book and the audiobook and whatever else might be involved with that, and then come back and then really hit Unity hard, uh, what does that timeline look like? So then on Wednesday, I'll do my typical update. I'll show you guys the completed uh, game dev project and how that has influenced updates to the rail shooter. And then I'll talk about, yeah, I'm going to take that break. So don't expect any rail shooter stuff from me for a while. Or I came up with this brilliant new plan. That's probably not going to work. I'm going to try it anyway. So yeah, let's plan to do that.
Okay.
So by next Wednesday, I'll have a more definitive direction and answer, I guess. Does that
Okay.
sound
Yeah,
okay?
that's fine.
Sound good?
That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, no one's forcing anyone to do anything. Because it's we
We're
are
in charge.
we're
Damn
in
it.
charge. Yeah, and then so because we're in charge, I want us to make the best and right decision. So yeah,
Totally.
very cool. Oh
Well,
wow.
thank you for all of that, Chris. I appreciate your perspective and your generosity.
Yeah, no, it's not really generosity. I'm being very selfish too, because I know your book is gonna be super super successful. I want to see you succeed. So yeah,
I hope
uh,
so.
let me read. Captain Boo says, "Good ones. Yeah, of course. I love walking through a pool of data and analyzing it. Jokes aside, when having study in university for 5 years, I've become quite used to compile game tests. Ah, yeah. Booba says, I don't want to insert myself too much, but a factor could also be that Michael returns to learning programming code, cold or code,
Bold.
programming cold, and it. Oh, I see. Cold, and it would take more time to get up the speed you guys have right now again. Don't put weight on what I say though. I'm just a stranger. Hey, but you're you know
But it's a good point.
yeah, it's a very good point.
And that definitely has happened because I've taken several very long breaks between learning to code, and each time I come back, there is this sort of like, oh, the machine's a little bit dusty, like it needs some time to get moving again. So yeah, that will be a factor for sure.
Yeah. Richard says you are both taking a posture of generosity, sound a solid foundation for good decisions there. Stepping back and reflecting for a day is worthwhile. That's true. Where's that clone? I know. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like
Right?
we need to just clone ourselves to do multiple things. It is going to be a great book. Yeah. So Richard votes for the book. I'll say if Richard gets a vote, he's voting for the book as well.
There it is. I am outvoted.
I voted.
It's been
Yeah.
decided for me.
But no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just wish I had a staff of people. That would be
Yeah.
great. Like
Yeah.
assistants and man.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely we can't wait to hear what you come up with on Wednesday. And until then, I will still be working on scene 4. So I'll go ahead and work on the modular pieces for scene 4, coming up with various structures and obstacles that we have to avoid and or destroy. What else? Mm, yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's
that
all.
was it.
That was it, right? Yeah. But
I think so.
yeah, very cool, very cool. Cool. We have about 5 minutes left before it is 9 p.m. What I want to do really quick, and I want to make sure I don't rush through it. I want to share with you guys some of the amazing artwork that you guys posted in the Discord. So let me see if I can get this right. Let me share my screen with Michael. Boop, boop. Screen 4, go live. Yeah. And then I'm gonna take this. Oops. Uh, put this here. Michael, you can see it.
Ooh. Yeah.
However, the chat can't. Oh, actually, the chat can't see it. But I want to do this
Oh
one.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But I want to show it instead. It's a this right here. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't want to do it. What the hell?
Hmm.
Uh, Twitch Chrome. Oh, no, that's not it. That's my There you go. Yay. Whoa, it's all big. So King Cass went ahead and posted some art that Herb did. Herb again is a streamer on Twitch. He does these little cute doodles. Whenever anyone gives him a sub or anything, he will do a doodle for them. And so I'm guessing this person DTJ subscribed to him, and then he did a really really cute. I want to say Harley Quinn Kirby, a Kirby version of a Harley Quinn. Is that it? Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's super, super cute. So there's this one, and then I think he also did one for King Cass. This is like a. I only picked out two because there's like so many. These are my favorite ones because I like Harley Quinn, and this one is really cool because this one reminds me of Venom, right? This is like a Venom fish.
I was gonna say Carnage. It could, but it could go either way, I guess. Yeah, it could be either Venom or Carnage.
Oh, you're
But yeah,
right.
like a Kirby, and one of the things that's really cool about these doodles that Herb does is, uh, it's not just this kind of cool mashup, but it's perfectly in line with like Kirby's actual abilities in his game, where he like sucks in an enemy and then steals their power and like
Yeah,
kind of fuses with them. So like, yeah,
yeah.
these are a lot of fun.
These are a lot of fun, and there's a lot more posted in the Discord. So if you guys are interested, please go and check it out. It's very very cool. And again, if you guys have any work you guys want to share, please post it, and we'll take a look here on the stream. And this is something that you might be interested in, Michael. Um, Pirate Princess.
Ooh,
If you tilt your head, you'll see that it is actually what does she call it? I don't know what's this technical term.
yeah, what is it? It
Um,
looks like it's like some kind of gold paint on a leather material or something.
yeah, she calls
Is
it
it like a stamp
bookbinding
or a
foil.
print?
She says doing some bookbinding foil work. So
Cool.
that's what it's called. And I'm guessing this looks like a hat, right? This looks like a on
Oh
top of a
yeah.
hat or something. And then she's able to kind of print or or I don't know, rub this gold foil on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. There's also another one she showed. It's this one right here. Oh, no, not that one. Uh, Hold on. Is it this one? Nope.
It's
Nope.
gonna be the last one you click.
Uh,
It
well,
always is.
yeah. I don't think I have it.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's in the
Yeah.
Discord,
Yeah, it's
so
in Discord.
if you
Sorry.
guys want to
Sorry
check
about
it
that,
out.
Princess.
It's very cool though.
Yeah, this is very, very cool. I don't know how she does it. If you guys know, let me know in the chat.
And I mean,
Um,
extra bonus points for it being Jurassic Park related. So,
yeah. Exactly. Oh, King is actually here. King says Carnage. Carnage likes sharp hands. Yeah, so you're right, Michael.
oh yeah,
You're totally right. This is Carnage. It's not Venom at all. So
there you
that's
go.
cool. Thanks for being here, King. Yeah. And then the next thing I want to share with you guys is one of my buddy Joel. I worked with him in the
Ooh,
video game industry, Petroglyph, and he was actually a level designer, very very talented. But what he
awesome.
also does is he takes environmental photos. Especially these days, he goes around taking photos of interiors and exteriors of real estate homes, and he's amazing at taking these type of photos. I don't know if you're in the
Yeah,
chat,
these are
Joel,
great.
but you did a freaking amazing job. I mean, my question is, how did you get, when did you take these? I want to say during the pandemic when there wasn't a lot of people, but then again, during the pandemic, wasn't a lot of these places locked up? I mean, they didn't allow people in. So how did you get all this beautiful shot without a lot of people? I mean, I see someone waiting in front of the restroom, but I love the lighting. I think he is shooting these in uh what's it called? D
HDR?
HDR. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you, Michael. So
Mm-hmm.
he's taking various versions of the photos and then with using Lightroom, he's combining all the various exposures and then he's able to get like a really um nice lighting environment. Because if you just take a photo of environment, it doesn't look like this. It usually takes like a few shots of different exposures and then you combine it together to get this like amazing look to it.
Mm,
Yeah. So yeah, he's very talented. He does environments. He also does like portraits and videography and everything. So very, very, very talented guy. Um,
yeah, these are awesome.
yeah.
Takes me right back to the last time I visited you in Vegas. We
Oh,
walked around the Venetian.
right, 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 right. That 8 mile trek and then plus
Yeah,
another 8 mile trek back is just like, oh God.
right. But we were too boneheaded, so we just like spent that whole time walking, and by the time we were tired,
Yep,
that's when we said like, okay, now let's head back. Oh, wait a
yep.
minute. We have to rewalk everything that made us
Yeah,
tired for the past several
yeah,
hours.
yeah. It was
Whoops.
awful. Ugh, it was totally awful. But it was fun. It was memorable, and I was so glad you and Leia actually was here. Were here to hang out with me. So I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, if you guys have any amazing artwork or photos or anything at all you guys want to share, feel free to post it in the social. Let me go ahead and do the social right here. Social. You can follow the social, all the different places that you can check us out on YouTube and the like. Also, make sure you follow me and then follow Michael as well. All right. I think we're good. We're good. Michael, anything else to add?
Um, nope, I don't think so. Great work again today. Super exciting to see scene three coming to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, that was fun. That took me a while to do, but because you gave me that awesome feedback, I was able to kind of rejigger the whole environment and actually give some more variety, right? Because I was just always in the trench, which is not that great, but getting out of it, seeing other stuff, that's actually what made it even much, much better, right? So yeah, thank you so much again, Michael. And yes, please follow Michael and myself. You can find me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv Lee Design Studio. And if you can, please follow my link. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube so that I can have my own custom URL because right now it's like, you know, YouTube /Lee/ blah, 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 a lot of stuff. I want to make sure that's Lee Design Studio. So I need 100 people. And I think I'm at 88 right now. So yeah, I'm making progress. And for those of you
Wow,
guys
almost
who,
there.
yeah, for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I couldn't be here without you. And yeah, Michael, where can they find you, sir?
Uh, well, so I definitely have a book out on Amazon, Blockbuster Blueprint. If you want to check that out, I've got obviously a second edition coming out soon. Um, in addition to that, I do have a Twitch channel, but I'm still working on getting it up and running. So in the meantime, the best place to catch me is right here on the Creative Tavern every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I'll be working with Chris on whatever crazy thing we're doing currently, the rail shooter.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much, and we will see everyone back here on Wednesday. Talk to you later. Bye.